Shabbat Shalom to the house of Israel. Thank you for joining Israeli Nation on this beautiful, hot, beautiful Shabbat day. And if you're joining us and if you're watching, this lesson is definitely for you. So we're going to go off into some Torah reading. But Captain Ira is going to come with Torah reading, and then we're going to come back for the lesson.
Today's Torah reading, law reading, is in Psalms chapter 3, the whole chapter, verses 1 through 8. And it reads, Yah, how are they increased that trouble me? Many are they that rise up against me. Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help from him in Yah. But thou, O Yah, art a shield for me, my glory and the lifter up of my head. I cried unto thy power with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. I laid me down and slept. I awake, for the Most High sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Yah, save me, O my power, for thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto thy power. Thy blessing is upon his people.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we want to give all praise to the Most High Yah and his Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. And listen, we had a good time yesterday. I know I did. You know what I'm saying? Because I just like bringing forth the Most High's word to his people. So we had a good time, man. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have a good time when you bring forth God's word. You're supposed to have a good time with it. You know what I'm saying? So the nature of street teaching looks a little rough around the edges, but trust, it was a beautiful time. And I think, you know, some of the people, by the way they look, a lot of people didn't say too much, but by the way they look, a lot of people was receptive to what we were doing out there. So Most High willing, we'll be out there all the time. And we're just now getting started with that. A lot of people think we're supposed to just jump right into a situation like that. You cannot. You have to train first. You know what I'm saying? We're the only people that don't like to train for stuff. You got to sit back, learn something, train, prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare your body. You know what I'm saying? Think about what you need to go out there and what you're going to be facing, because you're going to be facing a lot of different people and a lot of different things out there. So we've been, me and the brothers, we've been practicing. We've been coming together. So yesterday we were able to go out, set up camp, and we did it. So God willing, we'll keep on pushing. So I know today is the 4th, and if you're watching, wipe the barbecue off your face. Get the barbecue sauce off your top lip, you know. Some of you Israelites at home barbecuing too. Don't say no name. All right. The name of today's lesson is Emerging Independence. Emerging Independence. Black and brown people in this country have been in the captive state of mind for far too long. And in lockstep in the celebration of independence with a people whom of which could not care less or give a damn about you. But I'm going to take a quote from Frederick Douglass. Here's his quote. He says, in his famous speech called the 4th of July, but he actually did it on the 5th of July, but they dubbed it the 4th of July. And here's his quote. It says, what have I or those I represent have to do with your national independence? are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in the Declaration of Independence? Is that extended to us? What to the American slave is the 4th of July? I answer, he says, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim, end quote. This is what I want to know. How is it you march for injustice on the day and on one day and celebrate the liberation of a people who enslaved you and perpetuated the institution of racism and injustice and inequality on its most infamous day? Today is the day that one group of white people freed themselves from another group of white people. That's today. That's what the celebration of the 4th of July is. One group of white people got out from under another group of white people. But then you have millions of slaves celebrating the independence of the same people who enslaved them. You understand what I'm saying? That sounds backwards. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? It sounds a little, when you think about it, it said, wow, white people got free. The same white people that were enslaving us. So you have to think about this. In 1776, the 4th of July, you were a slave. In 1776, the 4th of July, you were known as 3/5 of a human being. In 1776, the 4th of July, you were stuck in seemingly an endless state of chattel slavery. So what is it to us, this 4th of July? The scripture tells us, my people are lost because of the lack of knowledge. And if we are to become a people found, then we must seek his knowledge and accept his truths. In Colossians 2:8.
Colossians 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you.
Beware lest any man spoil you. Come on.
Through philosophy and vain deceit.
Through philosophy and vain deceit.
After the tradition of men.
After what?
The tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. Come on.
After the rudiments of the world. And not after Yehoshua.
And not after our Messiah. So let's take it again from the top.
Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Any man spoil you. Let's drop down to verse 18.
Colossians 2:18.
Read all the way to 22.
Colossians 2:18 through 22. Let no man beguile you of your reward.
Don't let anybody spoil you or take you out of your reward or rob you. The word spoil means to rob or take you from or beguile, to trick you. Come on.
Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels.
Read it again.
Let no man beguile you of your reward.
Of your reward. Don't let him take you out of your place or your standing or your reward. Read.
In a voluntary humility and a worshiping of angels.
In the voluntary humility of worshiping of angels. Read.
Intruding into those things. Which he have not seen. Vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind.
Don't let anybody trick you into celebrating something that you're not supposed to celebrate. Don't let anybody beguile you. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's just family coming together. But they're going to beguile you. They're going to deceive you into celebrating an angel, a power, something that's set up that the Most High never intended for our people to do. That's why all of these holidays are wicked. Every last one of them. Give me the, I don't have it in my notes, but the one we talked about yesterday. Ezekiel 18. Ezekiel 18. Start at verse 15. I believe, verse 15, I think it is.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verses 15. And it reads, "For have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, have not defiled his neighbor's wife."
Read on. That 15?
Yep.
We'll keep reading.
"Neither have oppressed any, have not withholden the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence, but have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with a garment, that have taken off his hand from the poor, that have not received usury nor increase, have executed my judgments, have walked in my statutes. He shall not die for the iniquity of his father. He shall surely live."
He shall surely live. I want the one where it's talking about eating up on the mountains. Maybe it's verse 7. Maybe it's verse 7. Eating up on the,
Yeah,
on the
it's
mountains. It's
Yeah,
5?
It's 5 and 6.
Okay, that's what I
"But if any man be just, and do that which is lawful and right, and have not," sorry about that, Ezekiel 18, verses 5 and 6. "But if any man be just, and do that which is lawful and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains,
and have not eaten up on the mountains." That's what I want.
neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither have defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have come near to the minstrous woman, and have,
Keep going.
and have not oppressed any, but have restored to the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered the naked with a garment."
So our whole duty is not to eat up on the mountains of the idols. What verse was that? 5?
That was 6.
That was 6. Read verse 6 again.
"And have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel."
That's what I want. Neither have lifted up his eyes to the mountains of Israel. Hold that. Go back to Colossians. Colossians 2, and I believe you were at 19. That's what I want.
Colossians 2 and 19.
I want you to see the correlation in between the two.
Or you want to go back a page?
Yeah, back up 18.
Colossians 2 and 18. "Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of
In
angels."
the worshiping of angels. Don't let anyone beguile you of your reward in the worshiping of angels or idols. The worshiping of angels is the worshiping of idols. When you go to Ezekiel, where we just left off from, Ezekiel 18th chapter, and what was that, the 6th verse?
Yeah.
Eating up on the mountains is the Helite days, or eating up on the mountains of the idols. Don't let anybody beguile you or trick you into that. Let's go down to 19.
Colossians 2 and 19. "And not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands having nourishment ministered and knit together, increaseth with the increase of Yah. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Yehoshua from the rudiments of the world,"
From the what?
from the rudiments of the world, "why, as though living in the world, are you subject to the ordinances?"
As though living in the world, are you subject to the ordinances? Let's go back up to verse 8.
Colossians 2 and 8. "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yehoshua."
Through the philosophy. I'm taking this verse apart for a reason. Through the philosophy. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1 and 18. 1 Corinthians 1 and 18.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 18.
Come on.
"For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of Yah. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise?
Where is the philosophers? Come on.
Where is the scribe?
Come on.
Where is the disputer of this
The
world?
disputer of this world is the philosopher of this world. The disputer of this world is the philosopher of this world. Come on.
Have not Yah made foolish the wisdom of this
He
world?
makes foolish the philosopher of this world. Because anytime you come outside this Bible, listen, we was talking to a young man yesterday, and he kept on saying he don't believe the Bible because it was written by so many men, right? He believes something else. So he had an uncle on and a Caesar Borgia chain on. So I asked him, I said, so how do you believe in that, right? We asked, how do you believe in that? He said, I read about it. I said, well, who wrote it and where did you get it from? He said, oh, the internet. I said, well, who wrote it? So you saying you don't believe this because it was written by man? I said, name a book on earth that wasn't written by man. The problem with our people is they don't want nobody to tell them nothing. Nothing. I can learn it on my own. How you gonna learn it? Somebody gotta tell you. Somebody gotta teach you. Somebody gotta show you. You should know that from birth. You don't just come out the womb knowing stuff. Your mother said, chew like this. She shows you. Walk like this. Come on. Somebody shows you. Somebody teaches you. All right. Where were we at? Was that it?
Yeah, that was that. What you were talking about, side note 17 through 3 and 7, and jump down to 15 and 16. Yeah, that was the only second.
All right. Come on, let's go back. 8. Yeah, Colossians 8. We got to get through the rudiments.
Colossians 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men,
After the tradition of men,
after the rudiments of the world,
and after the rudiments of the world,
and not after Jehoshaphat.
and not after the Messiah. What is the rudiments? Let's go to Ephesians 2 and 2. Ephesians 2, chapter 2,
The book of Ephesians, chapter 2,
verse 2.
verses 2.
Read.
Where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world,
To the course, the rudiment, the course of this world. Come on.
according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind.
That is the rudiments of this world. The rudiments after the tradition of men and the rudiments of this world. Give me Matthew 17 and 24. Somebody give me Romans 14 and 16. You got Matthew? Somebody give me Romans 14.
Matthew 17 and 24.
Just hold on. Just hold that and give me Romans 14 and 16.
The book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 16.
Verse 16.
Verse 16, and it reads, let not then your good be evil spoken of.
You can?
Let not then your good be evil spoken of.
See, listen, the rudiments of this world says this. This is what happens. I almost went past this, but I had to come back to it. The rudiments of this world says this. The tradition of men says, it's for the family. Me and Keith were just talking about this. It's just for the family. It's just a meal for the family. Don't worry, but it's no celebrate. We know you don't celebrate holidays. We know you don't. Just come on, get a piece of chicken or something. It ain't nothing to it. But we just read in Ezekiel, it says eating up on the mountains of idols is a sin, right? So we get here in Colossians, it talks about the traditions of men and the rudiments of this world, right? Now we go to Romans 14 and 16. What do we got?
Let not your good be evil spoken of.
It might not be nothing. It might not be nothing. I remember one time I went somewhere, man, and it was a holiday, but it wasn't nothing to it. It was at night, wasn't nothing to it. It was my family. It wasn't nothing. I went there, you know what I'm saying, I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying, I'm chilling, I'm saying, hey, what's up, cuz, this, that, da, 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 da. Somebody said, I want to take a picture with you. I took a picture with me, right? I got up the next day and looked on Facebook. It had all kind of Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays, Happy all over my head, on my filter, right? I looked, I said, what is this? I said, oh my goodness. I mean, it was cool. It was Don't Let Your Good. It was good because, you know what I'm saying? I want to see my family. What's up? You know, what's up? But then, you don't let your good be evil spoken of because it looked like I'm celebrating something that I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your good be evil spoken of because it will ruin your witness. People will always come back and say you did something that you teach against, or you testify against, or you rail against. People will always come back and hit you with that. But now we can go to Matthew 17.
Matthew 17 and 24.
Hey, I already did, but I did that one for the show.
Right. Matthew 17, verse 24. And when they were come unto Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? He said, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Yehoshua prevented him, saying,
He stopped him. He didn't let him come in. He said, hold on, keeper. He stopped him. Come on.
Yehoshua prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon?
What you think about what he just said? Come on.
Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers?
Do they take it of their own children, or do they get paid from strangers? Come on.
Peter saith unto him,
What Peter said?
Of strangers.
Peter said it, of strangers, of course. Strangers. Come on.
Yehoshua said unto him, then are the children free?
Then are the children free. The children of the ones that are over you are the ones that are free. You celebrate, our people celebrate a holiday and they're not free. You're not a part of those children. The children are the ones that's free. Their children. The one that exact usury out of us. Their children are free. You are not. So just like we did yesterday when we was on the street teaching yesterday for the 4th of July. You out there buying your 4th of July outfit, your 4th of July shoes. There is no change, but you still a slave. Yes, you can get in your car and drive off. You think you're free because you're driving down the street. Or you can go in the store when you get ready. So you think you're free. But you're still a slave. You don't own nothing. You don't have anything. This is not your land. The home of the free, what is it? The land of the brave? Home of the, what is it? The land of the free, home of the brave? They did not have you in mind, Israel. Not at all. The Yahushua wasn't even free then. Go to the next verse. Watch what he says in the next verse. It's the last verse, isn't it? Yeah.
Matthew 17 and 27. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast a hook, and take up the fish that cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. That take, and give unto them for me and thee.
Did you see that? Yahushua, not even Yahushua was free. He said, go pay them people. Because only their children is free. Because we are under duress. When you have another group of people that's above you, you are under duress. So you have to do what they say. Even Yahushua. He said, Peter, go in there, pull that fish up. There's going to be some money in his mouth. And go give them people money for me and you. So the tax man won't be on us. That's what was going on. But when you're an Israelite, You never experience true freedom as an Israelite. Of course you don't. How could you know what it looked like other than through the scriptures? So I think so many of our brothers and sisters are codependent because they don't really realize or know what independence is. So when you tell a brother or a sister, let's get away from this master, this cruel master, they say, what for? I'm doing good. I'm getting 100% and my 600 pool pay. I'm straight. I'm good. They don't want to get away from this master. They really don't. They really don't. Because it makes you become more responsible. It makes you become more responsible as an Israelite. You're more responsible. You got to live up to who you're supposed to be. Give me Psalms 82 and 1. Y'all know where I'm going. Psalms 82.
I'll show the book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 1.
Let me show you who you're supposed to be.
Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods.
You do what?
He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked?
It's a lot. Think about that. Come on.
Defend the poor.
This is what the gods on earth should be doing.
And fatherless.
Start at verse 3 again. This is what you should look like as a God on earth. This is what you should be doing. Read.
Defend the poor and the fatherless.
Come on.
Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Come on.
Deliver the poor and needy.
Read.
Rid them out of the hand of the wicked.
Go and get the people out of the hand of the wicked. Change their mind. How do you get them out of the wicked? Out of the hands of the wicked? By changing their minds. By changing the belief systems. Come on.
They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness.
Come on.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Because the Israelite is out of course. You're not in your rightful place. Come on.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of thy power.
So one is a scripture I was trying to, it's in Deuteronomy. I think it's Deuteronomy 15 when I was thinking about Noah. Look at my notes. Is it Deuteronomy 15? 15 is something. I can't think of verse. 15 is Deuteronomy 15 and 24. It's not. I don't see it. I can't think of it. 15. What's that? 16, 15 and 16?
15 and 6.
15 and 6.
I got it. Deuteronomy 15, verse 6. For the Most High Yah blesseth thee, and as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow.
That's it.
But thou shalt not borrow.
I just got excited when you said the scripture.
And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee.
No, I just wanted 6. Start from the beginning.
Deuteronomy 15 and 6. For the Most High Yah blesseth thee, as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations.
You're going to lend to many nations. You, the Israelite, this is what it should be. You're going to lend to many nations. Read.
But thou shalt not borrow.
But you should not borrow. Come on.
And thou shalt reign over many nations.
And you're going to reign over many nations. This is what it's going should be. But at the lesson last week, for 70 years we did do this. Under the Davidic and the Solomonic kingdoms, we did do this. Come on.
But they shall not reign over thee.
But they shall not reign over thee. So many Israelites do not know what true independence really look like. They don't know. They don't know. They have maybe a thought, maybe some frame of mind, or possibly You know what I'm saying? But they haven't really seen true independence. You know they don't, because many of them think they're free now. It's not. This is not true independence. But what we read in Deuteronomy 15:6, that's true independence. Reigning over the nations. Just as Yahweh Shai said, who is free? Who is free? The children are free. Because they don't pay a penalty. They don't pay usury. We pay usury, or we pay a tax to another nation. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. All right, let's get Joshua. Now let's go to Joshua 5. And we're going to, I think we want the chapter. We're going to read the chapter. Joshua 5, 1 through 15.
The book of Joshua, chapter 5, verses 1 through 15.
You got the brother that lost his voice on yesterday. You got to get the vocal cords together.
And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that thy power had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel, until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was their spirit in them anymore, because of the children of Israel.
We took the breath out of them. They weren't willing to fight no more. Come on.
At the time, the Most High said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives,
Watch this, man. This is right here. Something else. Come on.
and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time.
Grown men getting circumcised. Grown men. That'll make you cringe a little bit. He said get some sharp knives too. Make you some sharp knives. And circumcise Israel again. Come on.
And Joshua made him sharp knives,
He did it.
and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise
Come on.
all the people that came out of Egypt, that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way, after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way, as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed.
They all died. All the men of war that came out of Egypt, they all died in the wilderness. Come on.
Because they obeyed not the voice of the Most High thy power, unto whom the Most High sware that he would not show them the land, which the Most High sware unto their fathers, that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
I mean, you have to really understand it. Try to understand the mind of God. He's protecting them the whole time in the wilderness. But he also says, I'm not going to give you the promised land. I'm going to give that to the children. I'm not going to give it to you. Come on.
And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, for Joshua circumcised. For there were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way.
In the wilderness, as they were moving throughout the wilderness, they did not circumcise those boys. Come on.
And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp, till they were whole. And the Most High said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off.
So that he rolled the reproach of Egypt off you. All of those men that disobeyed me, they died. Now I'm dealing with their sons. Come on.
Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal until this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho.
And that's for all of the people who say you can't have Passover outside of Jerusalem. Where did they have it at?
Jericho.
You can only do Passover in Jerusalem. That right there kills that whole notion right there. Come on. Even the camp part. There you go, right there.
And they did.
That's right.
Verse 11. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow, after the Passover,
Come on.
11 cakes,
Come on.
and parched corn in the self same day.
Watch this, verse 12 is where we're going. Watch this.
And the manna ceased on the,
Hold on. So read it again.
and the manna ceased.
And the manna ceased. The manna ceased. The manna ceased. The Most High fed the children of Israel manna for 40 years. For 40 years. When they got here, after Joshua circumcised the men of war, the young boys in the camp that were born of the men that had disobeyed God, then the manna ceased. It stopped. All right, whole 12. Let's go to Exodus right there. Exodus 16 and 30. Start at 31 through to 35. The manna ceased. Let's see what this manna is too. I want 16 start at verse 31 to 35.
Exodus 16, 31 through 35. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna. And it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey.
It was good. Can you imagine the Most High baking bread up there and throwing it down out of the sky? That thing had to be good. Come on.
And Moses said, this is the thing which the Most High commanded. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness.
For your generations, plural. They captured some, and it kept and preserved for years. For years. Come on.
That they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Most High, to be kept for your generations. As the Most High commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years.
And they did eat manna 40 years, come on.
Until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna.
Until they came into the land inhabited, which we just read about in Joshua. Until they came into the land inhabited, come on.
Until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan.
Until they came into the borders of the land of Canaan, which ultimately the land of Israel. Give me Nehemiah. Nehemiah, chapter 9, verse 19. Start at 19, 20, and 21.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, verses 19 through 21. Yet thou in thy manifold mercies forsookest them not in the wilderness. The pillar of the cloud departed not from them by day.
Read it again.
Yet thou in thy manifold mercies forsookest them not in the wilderness.
Most High did not forsake us in the wilderness. Read.
The pillar of the cloud departed not from them by day.
He led us by a pillar of cloud by day. Come on.
To lead them in the way. Neither the pillar of fire by night.
And he led us, and we had light at night. If this wasn't scary enough, you had to know the neighboring country, surrounding countries. A countryman had to see a light shining in the darkness, and we were being led about by this light. You think about that, how scary that had to be to see that. Come on.
To show them light and the way wherein they should go.
Come on.
Thou gavest also thy good spirit to instruct them, and withheldeth not thy manna from their mouth.
And withheld not the manna from our mouth. He fed us daily. Come on.
And gavest them water for their thirst.
Come on.
Yeah, 40 years did thou sustain them in the wilderness. 40
years he sustained us in the wilderness. These brothers and sisters knew nothing about independence, because Yah did everything for us or for them. Read again.
Yeah, 40 years did thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lack nothing.
They lack nothing. Come on.
Their clothes wax not old.
The clothes on them didn't even get old. Come on.
And their feet swelled not.
And they didn't get sick. They walked around 40 years not getting sick, clothes not getting old, eating bread that fell from heaven, and they didn't get much of a sting going on. These people knew nothing about independence. The Most High carried them through, fixed them up, got them together. He's trying to straighten them out now. And then they get to the border of the land, and he says, no more manna. There is an emerging independence that has to happen. We got to, we ate, when he said we ate the old corn, is that what it said? We ate the old corn. Now we got to figure this thing out for ourselves. Let's go back to Joshua 5 and 12. Did you finish that?
Yeah.
Okay. Joshua 5 and 12.
Joshua 5 and 12. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land.
The manna had ceased. The manna has ceased. Come on.
Neither had the children of Israel manna anymore.
They didn't have it anymore because y'all wasn't sending it anymore. Read.
But they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year.
But they did eat of the fruit of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. There was an emerging independence that had to happen. Now we have to hunt for our own food. Now we have to bake our own bread. Now we have to fish our own lakes. Independent people with true independence, or the knowledge of true independence. You celebrating, you got a flag on, you got a short set with a flag on it, and waving around somebody else's flag, singing somebody else's song. You know nothing about independence. You don't know how to be. This event, when the Most High stopped the manna from heaven, this event marks a major turning point for the children of Israel. For the first time in 40 years, the children of Israel are on their own. The Israelites have been nursed, and they suckled from the finger of Yah. 40 years, they got used to it. Let me tell you something else interesting. Let me tell you something else interesting about this thing. Yah is a mathematical genius, he is, right? So, for 40 years, outside of the Shabbat day, he rained manna down, right? 40 years he rained it down 6 days a week. You know how many times he rained manna down from heaven? The number? 12,000 times. 12,000 times the Most High rained down manna from heaven. He's a mathematical genius. He truly is. Give me Joshua 5 and 13. And everybody know why I said that, right? 12 tribes. Okay, good. Some people, somebody people looking at me like this, like, what?
Oh, that's terrible. Think about this assembly that you lead.
I don't know why they look at me like that. I'm just saying.
I'm personally insulted. Joshua 5 and 13. And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. Mm-hmm. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us or for our adversaries?
So after this banner stopped, And right after the independence of Israel is emerging, Joshua is getting ready for war. He circumcised all these new brothers. You know what I'm saying? These was grown men that got circumcised. You have to understand what's going on here. And now he's getting ready for war. There's an emergence. There's an emerging sense of independence that's happening here. All right, read on.
Joshua 5 and 14. And he said, Nay, but as a captain of the house of the Most High, as I now come, and Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my Most High unto his servant? What saith my master unto his servant? And the captain of the Most High said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so.
It sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? It sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? Just to reference this, let's get Exodus 3 and 1. 1 through 8. Because Moses said the same thing too. But Moses was looking at a burning bush when he said it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verses 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of Yah, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burning with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
What verse is that?
That's 2.
Read that verse over. I want to hit something. Verse 2.
And the angel of thy power appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked.
And he did what?
And he looked.
And he looked. And he looked. Come on.
And beheld.
And beheld. He looked on. Come on.
The bush burned with fire. And the bush was not consumed.
Come on.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush is not burnt. And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see.
Read it again.
And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see.
When the Most High saw that Moses turned aside to see. Come on.
Yah called unto him out of the midst of the bush.
You know why a lot of us miss out on what Yah has for us? Because you don't turn aside to see. You think you just supposed to y'all trying to stop you while you walking past him. You trying to hey. Nah. You gotta stop and turn aside and see. Turn around and see. Hey. You got y'all chasing you down. That ain't gonna happen. Slow down and turn around and see. And you will know exactly what the Most High wants from you.
Nobody wants.
That's right. Where we at?
Verse 4.
Let's read on 4 more verses and then we out of there.
And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, Yah called him out of the midst of the bush.
He called him. Come on.
And said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Here am I. And he said, Draw not now hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the power of thy father, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yah. And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians.
This is the Declaration of Independence once again. Come on.
And to bring them out of the land unto the good land, and the large unto the land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites,
Come on.
and the Hivites,
Come on.
and the Jebusites.
A declaration of independence and freedom from all of these nations. This is when the first time it happened again with Joshua the second time. Let's go back to Joshua. 5, and I think it was at 5:13. We done? We finished it out? Okay, all right, give me Deuteronomy 11 and 13. We're almost done here, y'all. You guys. Deuteronomy 11 and 13. Start at 13. Read on down to 28.
Deuteronomy 11, 13 through 28. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Most High your Yah, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I would give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn, and thy wine, and thine oil. And I will send grass in thy fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. Take heed to yourselves, that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. And then the Most High's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Most High giveth you.
And we did perish off that.
Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes.
That they may be frontlets. You got all the so-called Orthodox Jewish groups that actually wear the frontlets between their eyes on their heads. Have you all ever seen this? Yes, they do. They have them right here. They have a tiny list of commandments inside a box that they wear on top of their head, on their forehead. They sit on their forehead. It sits like right here. They took this scripture also literal, you know, but they didn't read it. They didn't read it right, because it said that it may be as frontlets. Come on.
Deuteronomy 11 and 19. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt write them upon the door posts of thine house, and upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied.
That's what I love. Come on.
And the days of your children in the land which the Most High sware unto your fathers to give them,
Come on.
as the days of heaven upon the earth.
That is heaven on earth. Our independence and freedom is heaven upon earth. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So tomorrow, I don't know if they have a church yet. Are they going inside the churches yet? Are they going to? Are they? I don't know.
We don't know about church.
I'm saying somebody might know. They might be going to church. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
They're doing online church now.
Oh, they're doing online churches now?
Wow.
Cash App.
Wow.
Cash App, online church.
Yeah. They're going to take the cash out of the back. Office.
But we don't call ladies chicks. We love our sisters.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know about the church.
Yeah, so verse 21 again.
Deuteronomy 11 and 21. That your days may be multiplied in the days of your children in the land which the Most High swore unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth.
Just like heaven on earth. Just like heaven on earth. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Verse 22.
Deuteronomy 11 and 22. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you, to do them, to love the Most High your Yah, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, then will the Most High drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves.
A declaration of independence. Israel, this is everything we've been reading today is pointing towards your true independence. That's it. That's it. Come on.
Deuteronomy 11 and 24. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours.
Shall be yours. So if you walking over there in China, you're gonna claim China. If this mine's
From the real.
Oh, look at this. I'm in Southeast Asia. This mine's. That's right. That's right. The black boots that'll be stomping out. The black boots that's gonna be stomping, gonna be us. It's gonna be our boots. It's gonna be yellow flesh everywhere. I'm telling you. I kick a Chinaman in the head. I will.
Oh, wow.
All right, come on. All right, come on.
Deuteronomy 11 and 24. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness in Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea shall your coast be. There shall no man be able to stand before you, for the Most High your Yah shall lay the fear of you.
The fear of you, Israel.
And the dread of you.
And the dread of you, Israel.
Upon all the land that ye shall tread upon.
Everywhere you go.
As he has said unto you.
Keep going.
Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
Come on.
A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Most High your Yah, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Most High your Yah, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day to go after other gods which ye have not known. And it shall come to pass. Well, I 29. You want to do that?
You get
29.
29.
Okay. Deuteronomy 11 and 28. And it shall come to pass, when the Most High thy Yah hath brought thee in unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessing upon Mount Gerizim and the curse upon Mount Ebal.
It's a declaration of our independence. That's it, man. That's it. With Israel, you gotta learn how to be perfect before the Most High. Let's get a couple more scriptures and then we're done, all right? A couple more. Give me Matthew 5 and 40. There's a lot of people don't think you can be perfect. Israel, you got to be perfect. Hey, there's nobody's perfect. According to the Bible, you can be perfect. Matthew 5 and 48.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as Abba, which is in heaven, is perfect.
Read it again.
Be ye therefore perfect.
I thought wasn't nobody perfect. Calling the Bible a lie.
Even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect.
Which is as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. How do you become perfect, though? In 2 Samuel 22 and 31. How is it that I become perfect?
2 Samuel 22, verse 31. As for Yah, his way is perfect. The word of the Most High is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him.
You have to walk in the ways of the Most High. That is how you become perfect. That is how. No one ever said you wasn't going to fall. That's a lot different than that. That's a lot different. You can fall. Just get back up, repent, and keep it moving. Get back up, walk in the ways of the Most High, and be perfect before. So with that being said, we say hallelujah. We hope that you have learned something today, learned something today. Join us on YouTube at Israelite Nation Assembly INAS. Please subscribe. Thank you for joining our class today. May the Lord watch between me and you while we're absent one another. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.